May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be free from harm. May all beings love life. May all beings awaken. Welcome to another Cuke Audio mini podcast. I pray that you and yours are safe and comfortable, free from economic hardship, and able to do whatever it is you want within the limitations of the universal precept of do as little harm as possible. So I guess this is another episode of Life in Bali because I've got a message for you and it applies to us too. Happy Thanksgiving. I wonder what you're doing for this Thanksgiving. Katrinka arranges social events for us, and so tonight we had a nice Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, I took a walk in the hot sun the other day back from this studio where I'm working sometimes on some songs. So I got to the corner where we turn off for the street that our gong, which is like an alley. And so on that corner is a place called Snack Shack. And I always feel a little bad. I don't eat there. We don't eat there much at all. Maybe once a year. Because it's a rather inviting place. You know, it's on the corner. It's open on two sides. It has a pool table. One of the main things that happens there is, some guys, and I know some of them, sit there and talk and drink beer late in the day. You know, I don't do that, so I wouldn't sit and talk if they were drinking tea, probably. I'm usually eager to get back and do whatever's next on the agenda. But, so I went in there and had a big glass of fresh squeezed orange juice, nothing else in the glass. I always say, tampa es, tampa gula, tampa pipette. It's without ice, without sugar, and without a straw. And then I beat them to it, or they'll say, oh, do you want it without a glass? So I say, but I do want a glass. So then a guy I know came over and said hello. I went, hey, how's it going? And he said, hey, the Glass House is having a Thanksgiving dinner. That's a nice place. I said, oh, we're going to be having a Thanksgiving with a bunch of people who don't drink alcohol. And he said, sounds boring. And I said, yeah, unless you're one of them. Anyway, we did have a nice time. And you get to say hello to some people I don't see very often, especially I don't go to meetings. We had a nice dinner and saw people. I met a woman from the Yukon. I've never met anybody from the Yukon, and she has a restaurant there and spends April through August there running her restaurant, and then she comes and lives here. That's quite a change. And I told her I don't think I'd ever met anybody from the Yukon, except for the one time when I was there as a kid. She said, where'd you go? I said, Whitehorse. And she said, yeah, that's about it. I thought, wow, really? I mean, that was a really small place. And she said, yeah, well, there's only 30,000 of us in the Yukon, and it's 3 times the size of Thailand. And I remember this treacherous train through the mountains. It was one of those things that seemed like it was going to fall off into giant, deep precipices. So we enjoyed our Thanksgiving. In terms of the COVID here in Bali, it's doing pretty good. Katrinka said this morning, the numbers are on the rise again. I said, yeah, it went from 5 positive cases like 5 days ago to 9, and now it's 16. Well, let's hope that doesn't continue, but those are pretty nice low numbers. But, I see people are really loosening up. Tonight, almost nobody had a mask on. Of course, it was all open air. But where we went and got the food, that was a sort of closed room. And I kept my mask on. I thought, why? Why not? I'm so used to wearing it. Anyway, so that's about it. Katrinka's leaving for America on Tuesday for 6 weeks. And you know what that means for me? I'll get a lot more work done. And I'll lose weight because she's much too good a cook. But anyway, I'll tell you, she's something I have to be grateful for. Whenever, on Thanksgiving, we'll be at one of these big tables and say, everybody say what you're grateful for. I guess me, I always say, I'm grateful for Katrinka. I like to say it, and she likes to hear it. So I'll end this with a little song that I think is appropriate for Thanksgiving. I did this recording, 12 years ago. In Sebastopol, and my son Clay played the drums, but we didn't do it together. Like, I did the whole thing, and I said, hey, Clay, would you put some drums on top of this? That is the absolute wrong way to do that. And, just one mic. And a guy added some drums, an engineer somewhere in the Midwest who mixed some of these for me and tried to, improve them. They're pretty funky. But he added a background vocal to it that I thought was so cool. And it was one of the songs that went with the little silly novel I wrote called To Find the Girl from Perth. And I made a CD, and there's an audio book. We're bringing the audio book out digitally now, to stream and all that. And I'm working with this engineer on that just to try to spiffy it up a little bit. But I made it 12 years ago in 2009. And it's got like 27 songs in it. A lot of them are very, very short. Anyway, it's a crazy book, crazy story. But this song is called Thank You. And so I say that to you and to Katrinka and to my parents and my teachers. And thanks to my whole family, my sister, my niece, my sons, my wonderful sons, who communicate so much, and I appreciate it. And the ones who are close with my sons. And my friends. So many wonderful friends here and gone beyond. And I say thanks to them. I say hello to them all the time. And, let me tell you, thank you, dear listeners and dear donors to Cuke Archives. I might as well just mention, if you go to the homepage of Cuke.com, Cuke.com, there's a donate button, and it tells you just what to do to make a PayPal donation, send a check, or become a subscriber for as little as $1 a month. We really appreciate it, and it keeps us going. Listen, donors, I appreciate it. I do. I think about you a lot. I say thanks to you. But I also say thanks to inanimate objects. Really, everything I deal with. But I do think of you. And to whatever there is to say thank you to, I have a thank you practice. And I got a really interesting email recently about thank you. and how in the lecture, the beginner's mind lecture that Shunryu Suzuki gave, how he talked about thank you, and how that was edited out wasn't included in the chapter that was used in Zen Mind Beginner's Mind. And the person who wrote me the letter said, had the transcript of the original tape. It's the Beginner's Mind lecture. And he said, gosh, that's my favorite part of the lecture, and they didn't use it. But, it's still there. Anyway, I'm not going to mention what Suzuki said there. We'll deal with that later. Because he's writing something up on it, and I'm going to probably read in a podcast and put on a blog post and put in the archive. So anyway, I say thank you all the time. It's been a primary practice of mine for decades. And, people say, well, what do you say thank you to? Well, having studied Zen, having lived in Japan, and I don't ask that question. I mean, I can't answer it very well either. I know in the book, Thank You and Okay, I explained it somewhat in the phrase they use, Okage Samade, which sort of means, it doesn't say thank you, but it means thank you, Okage Sama, to whatever, to the powers that be, to, thank you to everything. I don't define it. I sort of communicate with an undefined mind, our larger being, our larger whatever. I'm perfectly happy not to define that which I don't understand and don't know. So anyway, all right, that's enough of all that. Here we have thank you. And thank you. There's a time to grieve, a time to groan, a time to say I can't make it on my own. But oh, there's a time it is known to say thank you. There's a place to sigh, a place to cry, a place to sit and wonder why. But oh, there's a place in this life to say thank you. Here come the boys, making all their noise. The gals, get them to lay down their toys, to rejoice, to rejoice, to rejoice. There's a mind that's lonely, a mind in pain, a mind that somehow makes it through the day. But oh, there's a mind on the way that says thank you. Here come the boys, making all their noise. The gals, get them to lay down their toys, to rejoice, to rejoice, to rejoice. There's a time to grieve, a time to groan, a time to say I can't make it on my own. But oh, there's a time it is known to say thank you. But oh, there's a time it is known to say thank you. Thank you.